know if my lighting looks right now. It has taken so long to set this shot up. Bareminerals has put out a bunch of really exciting releases over the last, like, since the beginning of the year, I guess. And I will do my little spiel about PR, and that is that, like, when you're on a brand's PR list, you don't go and buy the stuff because you don't want to. It just feels wasteful. And so I've been sent stuff from Bareminerals for a long time, and I assumed that I was going to be getting all these new releases, and no shade whatsoever. I just didn't, and that's fine. It's just like, that's why I'm so late reviewing these things, is because I just didn't want to. So I have 4 things that I ordered new from Bareminerals that we have not yet reviewed on my channel. And the first is this brand new Bareminerals Original Pure Serum Radiant Natural Liquid Foundation. I love how they put original on everything, because it makes me feel when I'm shopping for it like, oh, this can't be new, it's the original. It can't be part of the future, it's the original, and we're living in the future. But yeah, this is the new one, the Original Pure Serum, and I got it in Fair Neutral 1.5, so we shall see if that's a good match for me. And I picked up 2 newer Blonzers, Kiss of Mauve and Kiss of Spice. So, you know, no, these aren't like brand new to my entire life because I have owned the Blonzers before, but I loved them. And honestly, these 2 colors excite me greatly, so I'm pumped to try them. And then I also went out on a limb. I just thought this sounded exciting, and I've done a pretty good job of staying away from other creators' reviews of these things. Like, I'm like, you know, because I wanted to buy this ultimately. So I got the highlighting blush in Opal Glow. We will be doing that as well. I'll probably use these on my eyes also because they really give eyeshadow. They're super pigmented in my experience. So yeah. Let's go ahead and discover how these are on first impression together. Starting with our friend here. This is, yeah, a Radiant Natural Liquid Foundation. Let me look up the price here. She is $44, at least at Ulta. The Blonzers are $26, and the highlighting blushes are also $26. So the component is glass. It looks really nice, super nice and heavy in the hand. That might be dark. That might be too dark. That might be too dark. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It's so liquidy. It's too dark, but that's okay. We'll make it work. It's so liquidy. Oh, it's yellow. Wait, that's neutral. Why is it yellow? I mean, to be fair, talking about color theory is yellow. To be fair, talking about color theory, neutral in terms of skin tones usually means like equal parts cool and warm, which kind of equalizes out on the color wheel to yellow, but not like golden yellow, you know, like not like super, it's more of a saturation thing almost. So yeah, this is a lot yellower than I would expect from a neutral shade. Wow. I hate to be that person, but it's like, we're not off to a great start, are we? Not off to a great start. I don't have anywhere to go today, so that's good. It's not like horrible, but there are so many phenomenal shade ranges out there that like give me tingles when I put my shade on, because it's just like such a good match that it sends all of my color theory cylinders firing. I'm just like, yes. It just really helps me make a proper assessment of the formula as well, because you don't have to put on as much when it's a really good match. You put on more when you feel like you have to cover your entire face, because otherwise if your skin shows through, it's gonna have contrast because it's like the wrong shade. So this is my nightmare. It's just a little off, and it's making my neck look kind of, I don't know, like pale blue by comparison. A little bit of this, and we'll kind of lighten it up with concealer, but that's already kind of just a miss. Not because I ordered too deep of a shade, which I did, but mainly because it's just too yellow and undertone to be called neutral. But that's okay, we'll even it out. We'll make it work. I'm wondering if, like, I don't know, I know this is a bad idea because it's not a good match, but like, can we build coverage here? I will say, like, other than the complexion rescue, yeah, you can. Other than the complexion rescue, I'm not sure I've ever been like over the moon impressed by a Bareminerals like liquid foundation. I like their little stick concealer. I'll pull that out. It's a great match for me. Actually, I shouldn't, because it doesn't exist anymore. And that really, really annoys people. Like, it's not like, oh, it's limited edition. It's like, no, they like literally just took it off the market and you can't get it anymore. And that's dumb, you know? So, and it's probably expired at this point anyway. It's a great little stick of concealer. I can make an assessment here on the finish, and that is that I really like it. That's a pretty finish. Very, very pretty finish. Blurring. It's kind of oily feeling. The thinness of it is kind of reminding me a little bit of like the Kosas tinted oil in a strange way that I did not expect in something that's packaged in a glass bottle like a foundation, a Radiant Natural Liquid Foundation. Like, I thought it would have more like heft to it, and it doesn't. I like don't know if it's drying down. Shh, certainly pretty. So let's find out, because it might really hate some of the concealers that I own if it is super oily, because extreme ingredient lists sometimes oppose one another. We will find out. Oh, my face is yellow. We're gonna use Givenchy. It's a good brightening skin tone match for me. I think it's gonna counterbalance this pretty well. So that's what we're gonna do, the skincare and concealer. So yeah, back in the day, and this is not shade on anybody, it's just an observation. You know, YouTubers used to put on the wrong color foundation all the time. Like, and that was their foundation shade. They would just apply it so evenly everywhere that it basically changed their skin tone. And not in necessarily a trying to be a different race kind of way, but just like trying to really hardcore cheat a tan with a matte foundation. Like, you have to go all in. You have to go all in. There's no halfway. And you would see that often. And then they would also go so many shades lighter in contrast with their concealer. I think that like one of the British twins or whatever that, you know, review skincare and makeup here on YouTube talked about how like that for some skin tones actually is more flattering on camera, and that like camera makeup obviously is different than real life makeup in a lot of ways. I've never experienced that like a darker color would look better on me on camera. Like, I'm just trying to match my skin tone, but I believe them for saying that. Like, I just think that it's funny how I've gotten around to being like, oh my gosh, if it's like a hair off, especially because we are in an era of brands really having to meet the demand of people having diverse skin tones, which they always have. People always have. The makeup companies have not always catered to it. They're not all doing a great job, but we are living in an era now where it's better than it's ever been. And so we can be bratty about it, about something that is a hair off, because it is. With the hair off. I was back in the city yesterday and I'm going back in tomorrow working on the new collection, and the way that you're cross-eyed by the end of the day from analyzing color, I mean, it's really, really fun work because it's like exactly the way that my brain works, and it just feels like I'm stimulating all the muscles that are like my favorite muscles anyway. You know, it's like doing something that you're good at feels good, but it's still hard work because you're always making something new. It's not like we're sitting there going, okay, well, you know, like, time to do the same old thing. Like, why would you do that? You're going to be working with like new pigments and stuff to make something new. And so, that newness of it gives you this like frontal lobe headache all the time, because you're like, I have to tell you, I have this instinctive feeling that I get when a color really resonates with me. And like, last week when I formulated the first iteration of them, I didn't get very many of those tingles. And then yesterday, it's like I found myself like looking down as I'm mixing it, and like Abigail's across the room and I just go, whoop! And she's like, that one's good. I'm like, that one's good. You know, and like that's the feeling that you're going for. But mixing cosmetics is hard. Deciding on undertones is hard. When some people are really sweet and they like really believe in me and my capability of mixing things, and they're like, maybe someday you'll work on a foundation range. And I'm just like, that sounds so hard. I mean, maybe, and I'm up to it, but like, wow, it's hard. And like looking at Jason having done 12 shades of the Phytosurgeon's bronzer, I was like, are you good? And he's like, no, I cried, you know, like, because it's just hard and it's painstaking. It's because you just have to get it perfect. We're talking about a single drop, a 0.01 of a gram of a pigment can change the nuance of a color to make it go from wrong to right, or from right to wrong. You're just sitting there trying to dial it in. It's not for everybody. It's definitely not for everybody. Okay, it's a little fuller coverage than I was expecting. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Like I like it enough that, I mean, we'll see how it goes, but I like it enough that I would want to trade it in for my shade, whatever that would be if I had to go to like the cool tone or whatever, because it's a very, very pretty finish. I can't describe how it feels though, like on my face. It's almost like it's warm, and not like in an irritated way, but like in like an oil way. Like it just feels kind of like it's gonna be oily when I touch it, and it kind of is. Yeah, it's not drying down. So I like the appearance of it. I'm not really sure I like the sensation of it. So I think the wise thing to do here would be to powder, because it is kind of molten, and these blushes, the Blonzers, are very pigmented, and I don't trust myself to put them on like lightly enough. But they did send me some powders a long time ago, so I'll go grab those. I'm gonna go grab those. This is the original Mineral Veil and Translucent. That sounds like a setting powder to me, so let's do it. Hopefully it doesn't turn, well, if it turns my whole face white, it won't be the end of the world. we kind of have a long way to go in that direction right now. I'm going to grab a big brush so that I can like disperse this evenly. This is the 102 from BK. It's just rare that I powder my entire face, but we're powdering my entire face today. Don't hard pan. It's almost like it's so oily. It's like trying to hard pan already. I do feel like I'm fighting against this. Darn it, darn it. This is just not going well. Can you see? Like, can you see the texture on my cheek right there? Because the brush, just trying to like pat powder on, the foundation soaked the powder up before it could like buff on. You know what I mean? I wasn't even buffing. I was just kind of tapping it, but it's just like, It's making kind of a paste, because powder and liquid can make a paste. And that's just because the foundation, even though it's very thin and lightweight, it does not have its own dry down, is what I'm discovering. It's oily, it stays oily. And that's just not something that combines well or plays well with the kinds of things that I'm trying to use it with today. So I'm gonna use this old, definitely doesn't exist anymore, brush from Real Techniques, because it's very good at dispersing things in a very nice, gentle way, just the shape in general. And I'm gonna use that to start with the Blonzer in Kiss of Spice. Let's swatch them first so that I can at least see what we're dealing with. But I am very intimately familiar with this formula, and they really do, they're basically like putting eyeshadows on your face. So the intensity of the pigment is just not kidding around, y'all. This might be a huge disaster, not because the Blonzers are bad, but because this foundation wants to soak up everything that touches it. Well, I at least have a really great eyeshadow look ahead of me, because those are beautiful eyeshadows. Oh, I'm nervous. Ooh, okay, Kiss of Mauve is kind of giving Hanky Panky. So I didn't put them right next to each other, but that's Hanky Panky, and then that's Kiss of Mauve. And they're really, really similar in their formulas, and they're really, really similar in their color. Hanky Panky is deeper, and it's got more of that blue in it, and the blue is a lot of the actual shift. So maybe, since I can make that work, maybe the Blonzer will also work. You're wrapped in suspense at this point. Let's freaking do it. This is Kiss of Spice. I've been noticing in my videos lately that like stuff's been looking muddy on me. What is happening? It's that foundation. It has to be. And I'm like, is it because my brushes are dirty or something? But like, this is a clean brush. Like, what is going on? Huh. Oh my God, this is mud central. Mud, mud, mud. Oh my God, what's going on? I'm patting this off on the back of my hand. This is so bad. Look at this. Can y'all see that? It's literally the shape of the brush. I like this brush. This isn't a new brush. You know what I mean? Now it looks like I have melasma. I've been working really hard to fade my melasma, and there's nothing wrong with melasma, but I don't want to paint it on my face. What? That's so disappointing. I like can't get it to buff out. It is not that. I really believe it's the foundation. Oof. Oof duh. Nope. Okay. I'm gonna use this same brush because I like it, and I'm gonna use it for the mauve, and we're just gonna see. We're just gonna see what we can see, you know? Oh no. Now I know that these are very pigmented blushes to begin with. It's not the pigment to me as much as it is the fact that immediately as I touch my face with the brush, the foundation goes and like grabs it. Like there's no way to come at this with caution because it's just stamping every stinking where, and then it won't move. Look at that. It looks terrible. Maybe y'all can't see it. It's just like literally like the brush bristle shapes. It's like making freckles of blush. What a pretty color though. Like a really, really pretty color. I would wear the color again. I mean, like I said, thank goodness I've used the Blonzers before. I know that while pigmented, it's not them doing this. And the foundation is the newest thing, so I'll have to watch some other reviews to see what other people are thinking about it, because that's a hot yikes to me. Ugh. Yeah. Huh. Beautiful color. Really, really beautiful color. And actually, Spice isn't even that bad. Kiss of Spice, it just was giving muddy because it just was like stamping the exact brush shape on my face in like way too much product at once. And I think also, again, kind of combining with the molten, can you like figure yourself out? Can you just like figure yourself out? That'd be amazing. It's like combining with the molten foundation and creating this like slurry on my skin. Let me tell you, I'm up against it. Highlighter. I don't know. I think what I'm gonna do first before I do the highlighter is actually grab my Victoria Beckham bronzer because I want to blend underneath my eyes because this is pretty contrasty, and then we'll go with the highlighter to give her her best chance, you know? I want to give her her best chance. All right, I'm going in with the 113 here. Very similar to Rattly Natalie, but not as rattly. And this is just my little homemade trick to kill, do you see just like the difference there where this doesn't look like I have this like socket of contrast and this one needs that because it's just such a subtle color that I wasn't showing to you. Sorry about that. It's because I'm like paranoid about dumping it on the floor. We're gonna end up with my whole face a different color than my body, aren't we? I'm using that color right now instinctively to fill in the patchiness of the blush and the bronzer. I'll just set my eyes with that too, because everything is trying to crawl away. Ooh, talk about cheating a tan. I don't know, it kind of worked. The shade is not my biggest concern anymore. The frustrating performances. Sod. Okay, highlighter time. We have brushes that we can use for highlighters, she says, looking for one. Okay, I found one. This is the Rare Beauty highlighter brush. And I will admit, I did accidentally stumble on a little bit of an opinion on this, and it was just referred to in abstract by Lauren Mae Beauty, and she was like, this wasn't what I thought. It's more of a blush than a highlighter. And so we'll see. But this is Opal Glow. Ooh. Ooh. Whoa. I mean, not whoa in terms of like, wow, that really did something, but like whoa in terms of like, that's actually really flattering and beautiful. And I am actually picking stuff up this time. It's not just my imagination like it was with the RMS. It's so blurring. It is very icy, like, but not glittery, but definitely like an icy pink, but I'm kind of into it. Like, I think that it goes well with the mauve, but the warmth of what's happening on my complexion is kind of contrasting against that. But I think in other situations, it's going to be like a really great like staple color to have because, you know, a highlighter that blurs like that, instead of highlighting texture, it blurs. Girl, sign me up. And it's actually light enough to work on my upper lip. That's cool. I think that's cool. And it comes in a bunch of shades. I like that it's not giving me some kind of like really reflective highlight situation. It's actually giving me like almost a pigment highlight, and it's not looking, because sometimes what bothers me about highlights is that sometimes you'll turn your head and the light will hit in a way that looks like you're actually like you're not wearing blush underneath the highlighter. It'll just look like it's, you know, blank. And this doesn't do that because it's got the blush tone behind it. I like that. I like that. It has no shimmer to it, but it's also not like powdery. It's nice. That's nice. Okay, let's put these on my eyes. Let's just keep going with these and use them as eyeshadows and see what we can get out of them. I'm actually gonna start with the highlighter. Here, I'll get a little closer for y'all. I'm putting this on a BK212. And I'm gonna use that to get myself some highlight going, kind of inner corner. And up here, a little base. I don't know. I think that this is a very skin kind of look, even though it's imperfect, okay? Like, we're up against it at the moment. It's still really a lot of emphasis on the skin, and we don't need to go hard on my eyes in this case. I will tell you, I do not love what is happening on my under eyes. And that Givenchy loves my under eyes. I am not sure whether it's the foundation or the powder or a combination of the two, but it's looking sludgy and I'm just not a fan. Now, the real question is this my new favorite Bedroom Eyes Brown? Because it does look copper, but this is gonna end up looking exactly like the last video, but I didn't mean to, so it doesn't count. Let's see. Wow. So This definitely, like, it feels like it's gonna be really silky when you touch it, but it doesn't actually go on the eye very silky. Well, maybe when you pick up a bunch of it does, but initially it feels like it kind of is like thinner than an eyeshadow, like less emollient. But if you've ever used a Bareminerals eyeshadow, that's how I would describe their eyeshadows too. Like, no offense, they're just not my taste. They're just kind of flat. They don't have a lot of excitement to them. And their packaging also doesn't tantalize me. And I always want to be tantalized by packaging. Like, this is beautiful. Like, this is something that's really lovely to interact with. I just think that there's an experience happening here. It feels special, and their eyeshadow palettes don't. They just don't. Okay, so smacked that on my lids. Wow. And you're gonna be out here paying $26 for a single eyeshadow, or you could pay $26 for this huge pan of it. I don't know, it's your call. I'm not gonna say it spreads quite as easily as an eyeshadow, and it should, but there we go. Ooh, that's too much. I put too much on. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Huh. It's fairly manipulable, eh? Okay, maybe I'm just going for it, you know? Maybe I'm just going for like the full smoky effect of it all. I like the Blonzers because they don't have like a lot of shimmer in them. And so you don't risk putting glitter right in your crease, you know, because that's I am not team glitter in the crease. But I will say, like, it is being a little stubborn about blending. It's kind of grabbing a little bit, but it also is not designed to be an eyeshadow. So I can only criticize it so much for that. Now I'm gonna grab this little buddy. This is the Thrive Cosmetics eyeliner smudge brush. She's a little rattly too. Aww, aww. I'll have to come up with a name for her, but I'm just gonna chase this feeling here. Because how nice would it be if, you know, you're traveling or something and you have a product that does double duty like this. It's a pretty good investment. There are plenty of people who just like the idea of traveling light, even if they're not traveling that often. It's just nice to have like a simple routine, and that is super effective. That's beautiful. I'm actually gonna take that same brush, hopefully here, I'm trying to clean it off, and I'm gonna go back in with the highlight, see if I can get a more concentrated application, because I like the color of it and I like what it's doing, but I want more. I want more. I want more. I wanna go where the people go. Should we try and just use a little bit of the mauve like in the crease so that we can get a, you know, contrast. I'm talking myself into it. The contrast of just a little bit of coolness, because it does have a little bit of a blue shift on it. I don't know. It might ruin it. We'll see. Oh, well, that's fascinating. I like that. I'm not sure I would have done it again. Like, I think I would choose the brown and maybe go in with like the Victoria Beckham shadow sticks or something to really get the matte in the crease, but like, that's cool. Like, that's a cool combo. And it adds complexity. Like, I could easily, it's kind of polarizing. I could easily see some people being like, no, you shouldn't have done that. And then others people being like, I only liked it when you put the mauve on, you know? So I'm glad that we got to see it both ways. I will take a little bit of the mineral veil that they gave me and just kind of clean up here, because that's quite contrasty. Just wanna make sure it's looking intentional. There's a little bit of that powder on this brush, and so that's gonna help me move a little bit of shadow around, you know, act as a mixing medium a little bit. That's nice. That's nice. That's an eye look that I would absolutely wear. And to be honest, like, this is definitely a makeup look that I would leave the house in it, but getting there was a struggle, and that's, you know, that really influences how I feel about recommending products. It's like, do I want you to have a hard time getting there? No, that's not what I want for you. So, brows, liner, mascara. I'll be right back, and then we'll choose a lip. This is me sending help, okay? so that it like looks nice together. Give it its best chance. Let's pick a lip and like, let's do something interesting because this looks exactly like the last look, like exactly like it, okay? Like it looks exactly like the last time that I did my makeup on camera, and I don't want to do that to y'all. Now, are my lips in the greatest of condition at the moment? No, I don't know. Still don't know what's going on here, but this is Dragon from Lisa Eldridge in the Velveteen Liquid Lip color. And I think that it's time to just do something different for this look because I'm bored. And this is this gorgeous, it's like a saturated rusty red. This is one of my favorite things. Let's go. Well, that's a heck of a lot better than nothing, huh? That's far better. I'm like less bored now. That's a good little dopamine hit. Beautiful lip color formula. So pretty. And I think it goes really well with this look because everything in this look, even the blush, is a little bit shiny, like a little bit iridescent, has a little bit of like luminosity and mica to, what is that? I think that I like imprinted on my face with my eyelash curler. Like I need to go like clean my eyelash curler with alcohol because it has a little bit of eyeshadow on it. There we go. So, all right, bye. Let's go. Not in order of the way that I put them on, because the Blonzers are not new to me and I cannot wait to use these again. I can't wait to use them again because I can tell that the colors are really interesting. And I do think that these are really comparable to the RMS blush that I have really grown to love, and that even in my maybe, you know, not wanting to overdo it on blush type of days, I can still use these with a light hand the same way that I do some of the deeper RMS shades. It's just kind of cool. Like, you know, it feels like I have like a larger collection of this kind of formula that works well on the cheeks and on the eyes. I just think that they're pretty cool multi-purpose formulas, and these colors are really, really great expansion pack for what we already had. I might be most impressed with this just because I am always so unimpressed by highlighters. This doesn't do what a normal highlighter does. It doesn't give you kind of an eyeshadow effect on your cheek. It actually blurs and keeps color on your cheek so that it still looks like your blush is there and it's not glittery. I don't think it's for everyone. If you love a typical highlight, this is not gonna be your new favorite highlight. But if you're like me and you like having the option to have it as part of your routine, but you're always afraid of it kind of giving you like an icy stripe on your face, try that. It's good. I like it. I like it a lot. I think it's really, really pretty. And I think it like helped the look. You know, it wasn't just like like a throwaway. Like I think that it added something. And finally, I will reserve the last part of this review for the foundation. I do not feel any reservations in telling you, in the ocean, we are not in a shortage, y'all. We are not in a shortage of foundations, okay? In the ocean of foundations that exist, this one was just not it, and it wasn't because of the shade. That was my primary concern, obviously, in the beginning, and that became the least of my concerns by the end because I managed to make the shade work without covering it up completely with concealer, like totally fine. But the formula is really frustrating. If I, a very dry-skinned person, am having trouble with something not drying down because it's like too oily, ain't nobody gonna get anything really nice and easy to work with out of it. I don't want to say it's like this horrible, gruesome thing because obviously I made something out of it that works. Like I like how my makeup looks right now, at least from what Tom would call kissing distance or further kind of thing. But we're talking about, is it easy? And is it fun? Because you're trading your money for it. It's not about can you make it work, you know? It's about like, was it worth your money in the sense that like you like how it looks, you like how it performs, and it was easy and it was fun. No. This was difficult and not fun. I wouldn't recommend it. I don't think that this is a good purchasing decision. Let me know if y'all have tried it and if it is, you know, knocking your socks off and you have some kind of recommendation. Like if I should put a different primer under it or something. I'm always willing to try another face of makeup, but just in the sense of how I typically wear my makeup. And again, I ran out of a bunch of my road stuff, so I didn't even have like a sludgy complexion situation on today. I just had my SkinCeuticals moisturizer on and another, you know, K-Beauty sunscreen. Like not crazy, wild, syrupy hydration, nothing like that, nothing even glowy. It was just sludgy oily and didn't dry down. I think that they should have presented it as a tinted oil, not as a foundation. Maybe that would have made a difference, so. Anywho, this is the vibe today. Again, I'm not mad at it. I think that those Blonzer shades and the highlighter are just divine. Even though they went on in scary, scary ways, I think we made something nice happen. I think that the colors themselves are exciting. I like being excited about colors and they're weird and I like that. So anyway, I hope that y'all enjoyed this. If you did, please do give the video a thumbs up. If you have not already subscribed, consider subscribing while you're here because cool people subscribe it would be cool if you did. And I will put a video up here that I think that y'all will enjoy if you liked this one. I love you so very, very much. Thank you for tuning in and hanging out with me today. And I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.